Hi, it's Nicole with NaluPilates.com. So a lot of classes have been moving online lately for obvious reasons, and I've been teaching online for years, way before it was cool, and I wanted to give some tips and tricks for making an online class more effective. So here are the top 3 mistakes that I see teachers make when they move from an in-person class to an online class. Okay, so mistake number 1 is, are you teaching or are you demonstrating? Because these are two very different things. If you're demonstrating, then you're not watching, and if you're not watching, then you're not teaching. Okay, so how can you teach without demonstrating? Use words. Clearly explain the setup, clearly explain the action, how you want your students to do something. If they're not understanding, find other words. Use analogies. Analogies are great for getting your point across without having to have your students look at you to demonstrate. As a side note, if your students look like this, you're also not teaching. So then mistake number 2 is your class sizes are too big. Wait, what? Oh my goodness, how can a class size be too big? Online it can be. So in an in-person class, you have the benefit of peripheral vision, and that is a huge benefit to have. Online, when you're staring at a screen, you think that you can stare at hundreds of people. You can't. You have to limit class size when you're teaching online. It just gives your students a better product. It just does. Mistake number 3 is believing that what works in an in-person class will automatically translate to an online class. It doesn't. So say for instance, in an in-person class, you open up the studio doors 30 minutes ahead of time so that the class can filter in, have some pre-class chit-chat, blah, blah, blah. It creates a sense of community. Great. But don't think that starting a Zoom call 30 minutes ahead of time is going to create that same sense of community. It doesn't. So in an in-person class, what was an intimate conversation between two people suddenly becomes a presentation on Zoom. Not everyone wants that, and that doesn't also create that sense of community that you were striving for. So if you have a small class, that might work. But in a larger class, it's just not going to. You're going to have to find alternatives. If you like this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're going to make more, both on teacher training tips as well as videos on how to refine your technique and also how to make a class more challenging, both for yourself and for your students. Also visit NaluPilates.com for more tips, tricks, and advice. See you later.